Hi everyone, I've got the GoPro out again. This is my second time trying to record something because after about 16 seconds it stopped. It beeped at me, and on the front screen of this GoPro Hero 7 it just said O2, and I turned it round and it stopped recording. All there was 2 photographs and like a 2-minute recording on the GoPro, and I don't know why that had stopped because there's like a 124 gig card in there, so you should be able to record, I'd have thought, a few hours. I think when I looked it up on the front of the screen it says 7 hours 41 minutes, so there's half a battery in there. Don't know why it stopped recording, whether I need to put it on loop or something like that. I don't know frigging technology. So hopefully you can see me okay. Had a haircut, gave me an haircut this morning, so I want to show you my bike. So I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you my bike. So this is my Lex Moto. I don't know why the screen appears to be flashing at me, whether it's something to do with the bright lights I've got over here, possibly. I hope it's not flashing for you though on camera. So this is my bike. I'll get out of the way so you can see it lit up. Like I say, hopefully when I upload this video it's not like lines on the screen. What is it? Something else I've seen. I know there's different things that affect cameras, like if the light's spinning around a different way. Oh, here comes my little doggy. Checking up on Daddy. What's he up to? So yeah, this is my little 125 motorcycle with different handlebars. The original handlebars I'll show you. In fact, I'll start it up in a minute and show you that. So the garage is a bit messy because I've been fixing my wife's bike and my son's bike. So these were the original handlebars. I've wrapped them up in paper and put tape over them to keep them safe. Now when they was on the bike up there, I didn't like the angle that came back because of my last accident and my arm being well, my elbow was shattered and rebuilt twice, and I had 2 steel pins in my hand. I don't have the rotation and movement of my right hand, so my right hand felt okay on the accelerator, on the over there, but that one wanted to be straight to be comfortable, because I found that I was putting my hand, I can't show you without letting go. No, I can't show you, but basically I rested my hand flat on top of the handle over here. I can show you what I mean on this. So when I was riding it, I was like resting my hand because I couldn't twist it. It was painful. Or I'd grab the bar end, because originally on that chrome, it is a chrome handlebar, it had these large bar ends in there as well, which are quite weighty lumps of metal, you know. So I've took a bit of weight off the bike. But yeah, and I got this bar. This were 50 quid, this bar. And on this one, the old one, there's little holes drilled in. So years ago, the bikes I used to ride, some had plastic switches on, some had aluminium. And the aluminium you could tighten up properly. These ones have a little screw that drops into a hole in the handlebar. But because these handlebars don't have that, I had to carefully drill that and fit that. So at the minute it's got the steering lock on, also disc lock as well. Years ago when I had a really expensive sports bike, I'll just move this handlebar again because I'm going to start the bike up. Yeah, years ago when I had an expensive sports bike, that used to be locked up a lot differently. I will get some more chains and stuff for this to go through the wheels, but I had a disc lock front and back on the sports bike. I had steering lock on. I had a chain through the front wheel into a block of concrete. Same with the back. You know, gates, cameras, barbed wire. You know, if they really wanted it, they really wanted it. If they were going to do all that. So that's the steering lock off now. Let's try and straighten the wheel. Show you what it looks like from this angle. Just shuffle around. I'm not going to open the garage door because I don't like everybody seeing, you know, what you've got. Even though we live in a lot nicer area, still like the privacy. So yeah, it's a really nice bike. You don't have a reserve on this, and this you can switch it on or off the fuel. I've left it on. This is fuel injection. This one. Yeah, definitely. Making sure, yeah. Because the earlier models are carburetor, but this one's fuel injection. And I've also put the high octane fuel in, which is the Super E5, because the new E10 fuel, if you leave it in here over winter and it's not completely full, a lot of people said it'll attract moisture and it will rust your tank from the inside out. It's really bad. So for the small tank, small bike it is, and how much I use it, I spend the extra money and get the super fuel, super unleaded. So this is the Lexmoto ZSB 125. When you do put it in gear, I'll show you, I'll put it in gear. Oh, maybe it doesn't do it while it's... No, there we are, look, it's gone into 2. So, neutral. You do have to turn the wheel to get this to drop into gear, and obviously I can't do that, it's on its centre stand, but yeah, see there, I mean, look, it'll tell you what gear you're in. So, you've got mileage, what it's done. It's only done just over 1,000 miles. Obviously, tank's full, so I filled it up. Oh, we already switched on. Come on, Simon. So, you don't have to give it any revs. Nice and clean, this bike, and I'll keep it really nice and clean. So I'll probably do a better video another day when I've had a nice ride out on the bike somewhere. It's been absolutely throwing it down this morning with rain, so I'm waiting for that to finish. Well, it has finished, the sun's come out, but you know, I'll see whether I want to get suited up and ride out, because it has forecast to throw it down all weekend and all week. So apologies for the lights if that's making the screen flash. It is affecting it on the back of the camera. I'll find out when I play it back. So yeah, that's my first bike again for my return to motorcycling. When I rode bikes before years ago, I must have had about 20 motorcycles in 10 years. I was so passionate about it. Did all my own mechanics, stripped bikes down to just a bare frame, repaint them, build them all back up. I did it all. I loved it. So with this bike, it looks really nice as it is, but I am thinking about getting a top box for here, so I can store my lock when I take my disc lock off the front. I've been bolting it onto here, but I'll probably put a box on here to carry stuff around with. I don't know whether I'll attempt a camping trip with this bike next year. I've looked at others, bikes that is. I've looked at the Royal Enfield Meteor 350. I sat on one and it felt very small. In fact, I've got my slippers on, but let me just sit on here and show you what I mean. When I sat on the Royal Enfield and I picked my legs up, excuse the big belly, I felt like I was really sat on top of the bike. There's some cruisers I had years ago, you felt like you sat a lot lower and more in the bike than on it. And this is how it felt with the Royal Enfield. And also the Royal Enfield has bars like what this had on and I took off. Now, I'd have to see, because the only one I've sat on so far had the steering lock on, so it was like that, so I couldn't really tell. And I sat on that before I even rode a bike again. So now I've got a bit of, not experience, but confidence again riding. I think I will go and have a test ride on one. So, but this were a cheap bike to get riding again. It's a Chinese bike. It's not as smooth as Honda motorcycles, you know, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki. I've never ridden a Kawasaki. Here comes my little girl again. I did go and have a look at a Kawasaki. Try and remember which one it was. I think it was called a Versys 300. But it was a lot of money they wanted for it at Derby. They wanted like £4,400 for it. It was only a year old, like this one as well. But I thought, that's a lot of money, because what happens if I don't feel good being back on bikes again? What happens if my nerves are shot and I don't feel safe on it? So I bought this one. This one were up. These are really cheap. About a year ago, you could pick one of these up brand new for £1,000. It's crazy. It's a Chinese bike. Beginning of this year, they were selling them for £1,500, and then now they've gone up to £2,000 for exactly the same bike. They've done nothing to it. It's just they've put the prices up. This one was second hand. It was up for sale on eBay for £1,300. I travelled 60 miles to go and have a look at it, and I went back the next day. Well, I bought it the same day, and I went back the next day and rode it home. For the first time riding, I rode it home 60 odd miles, and I was nervous. I was clinging on tight to the bike. Of course, it had the other handlebars on, so my left arm was in pain, but I was enjoying it. I was loving it. I said to him, I said, look, you know, I'm not going to come all this way back down for the warranty on the bike. If anything happens on the bike, I'll sort it. Would you knock a bit off? Because somebody cheekily said it was worth £800, and he'd basically tell them to bugger off. So, you know, I says, I understand how things work. You've got to make some money in that. So he said £1,200. Well, it saved me £100. So that was nearly my insurance, because I insured this bike. I think it was about £130, something like that. Of course, I've got a full bike license, but when I stopped riding in 2014 after the second crash, I lost all my no claims because I didn't have another bike, you know, ticking over on insurance. So that's not really bad for a 125. I'm 37 years old for insurance. So hopefully in a few years' time, this bike will probably only cost me, you know, £70 something maybe. I have no idea. The excess is quite high. I did a voluntary excess of £300, and the insurance company wanted a compulsory of £350, which means if I ever have to claim for this bike, it would cost me £650. And obviously with the value of the bike only being really around £1,000, it's not worth doing, is it? But I hope, touch wood, nothing ever happens to my little bike, and it stays right here with me. Nobody tries to pinch it. I don't think they would, with it being Chinese. I think if people were wanting to pinch bikes, they'd probably go for the nicer, more refined Honda and, you know, the Japanese type stuff. So, but I'm happy with it, and I'm looking forward to getting back out again. I need some proper good sunshine and get back out, because one thing I did say, riding, the light on this isn't very good. Show you. Don't know, you can see in there, it's got the old bulbs. The more modern Japanese bikes have gone for LEDs. So I don't really want to ride at night, and I don't want to ride at all in the wet. I did all that years ago. I rode for 10 years in all weathers, all time of year, from boiling hot melting to absolutely painful freezing. And I'm not going to do that this time, I don't think. Well, not at the start anyway. I'm just going to ride steady, safely, on nice sunny days. So get home from work, it's a nice sunny day, right, I'll go to the local meeting point and meet some other bikers, or go for a ride at a weekend, you know, make a plan to go for a ride out. So one place I used to go was Matlock Bath, which is in Derbyshire in England. So I'd probably have a ride over there another day. But to start off with, I bought a helmet, a jacket and some gloves. That's how I brought this bike home, and I had a pair of, I think it was these trousers I had on. I think it was. And steel toe cap safety boots. Now I have bought some proper motorcycle trousers again with protection in them, and I bought some proper motorcycle boots. But this time, instead of having a high up boot where you'd velcro, zip up the side and velcro flap over, I've gone for a higher ankle boot with laces and velcro. Of the choice I had in the shop, I just felt that was a lot better, so that was better for me. Right, I'll end this video here and I'll go and stick it up on YouTube. That was just the noise of the little selfie stick that I've got on the GoPro, so hopefully you can see me okay. Thanks for watching. I am going to change the channel name, I think, because there's that other guy who calls himself Simon Outdoors and does camping and that sort of stuff. So I have thought about changing the name. It's just deciding on what I want to go for, because I want it to be unique. I don't want anybody else copying it. I want it to be unique, but not odd that nobody would find the channel, because I would like it to keep going and growing, for other people to watch, and also for my kids, that when they're older they can watch it and go, look, this is what Grandad used to do, you know. Not my kids, you know, well, yeah, my kids, my grandkids, stuff like that. They can look and go, yeah, this is what Dad used to do, Grandad used to do. So take care, everyone, and see you again on the next video. Stop capture. GoPro, stop capture.